So, according to reports that remain anonymous at present, Elizabeth Warren is set to make a big endorsement for Hillary Clinton. And the news, of course, says that we don't know for sure when it's going to happen, but we expect that within a week or two, she will endorse Hillary Clinton. Well, how nice of you to get involved in the process now. The only time that, I guess her endorsement could mean less if it literally came after Election Day, or theoretically if it came after the convention. But it means almost nothing coming at this point. I suppose the idea is going to be that her endorsing Hillary Clinton could sway some Bernie Sanders supporters to say, oh, look, someone who agrees with Bernie Sanders on a lot of the most important issues, especially the differentiating issues between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, is in favor of Hillary Clinton, so she can be trusted on those issues. But to do it now, when it's so less consequential than it would have been at almost any point in the primary contest that we've had already. Can you imagine if it had come at the very beginning of the process, or if it had come in advance of Massachusetts, before Super Tuesday, even before California? It's at best a form of political cowardice for her to have not at least made the decision, whether she had always wanted to endorse Hillary Clinton, or whether she was convinced only by the fact that Bernie Sanders didn't win more states. Whatever it is, the best case scenario is political cowardice coming from Elizabeth Warren. But that's my initial reaction. If these reports are to be true, she is also considering, but hasn't decided on whether she would want to be the VP under Hillary Clinton. And in what is the most obvious lie I believe I've ever heard in my life, reports are also saying she hasn't actually discussed the possibility with either Hillary Clinton, which I guess is possible, or anyone in her campaign, which is ludicrous. The idea that the woman who is brought up first in any discussion of possible VP candidates, whether for Bernie Sanders or for Hillary Clinton, hasn't had any conversation over the course of this almost year-long primary. Nobody believes that. And granted, it's not exactly Elizabeth Warren saying it, but Elizabeth Warren, I don't want her to be a coward. I certainly don't want her to be a liar. And in one news piece, her showing herself to be at least bordering on those two things is insult to injury considering what's already happened this week so far in politics. Now, if Elizabeth Warren were to endorse Hillary Clinton, you can sort of understand why, I guess. She wants to remain relevant in an administration, and if she's not as idealistic as we always believe that she was, and she does genuinely think that Hillary Clinton is going to be the nominee, which statistically is the most likely outcome at this point, then I guess to be involved in that administration, she will do what many in the media have done, sign on to the bandwagon so that you have access later on. It could be, I guess, that if she's just being pragmatic, but is actually a strong progressive, she thinks, okay, well, at least if I work with her, then I can push for a couple of key issues. Maybe she makes me VP, which I would actually, I think that I'm actually against at this point. Or maybe, I don't know, head of the Fed, I don't know. I don't know where she would be able to accomplish the most under Hillary Clinton, where she would be allowed to accomplish the most. Now, look, she's also going to make some big speech about Donald Trump today, which I would say gives even more support to the idea that she's going to both endorse Hillary Clinton and also go for the VP spot. And she's been a great attack dog so far, a great advocate for important issues, and a great bulldog, I guess, to send after moronic conservatives like Donald Trump. But I have to admit that there's only one thing I wanted out of her this year or the year before, and that was for her to throw her incredible weight and respect that she has, both amongst the regular voters, but also amongst some of those that might be Hillary Clinton supporters or even in the political establishment, to go behind Bernie Sanders, which would have both given him more press, would have given him a great advocate to go out and speak in his behalf, go in the media, but also would have provided such important cover against the ridiculous charges of sexism that have come through the entirety of this campaign. And she chose not to do that. And we can speculate and will speculate over the course of the next few months why that is, and also why it is, if she does endorse Hillary Clinton, that she's chosen to do that. Did she actually want Hillary Clinton this whole time? Is that scarier than her simply being pragmatic or cynical or whatever and doing it now? I honestly don't know, still processing the news. But it is disheartening to know that she sat this out. And I got to be honest, from where I'm sitting, I'm going to remember this in 4 years or 8 years. If she runs for the presidency, where was she when we needed her most? That's my thought, but let me know your thoughts as well.